Tā, es laikam jau esmu, ja? Tiešsaistē. Vai jūs man redzat tur ekrāna otrā pusē? Jau redzat, man jau māja, kad es esmu tiešsaistē. Inovācijas Sviests. Kā jūs domājat, ko mēs šeit darīsim? Mēs esam inovējuši mūsu skatuvi un tūlītās jums piedāvāsim negluži sviesta ražošanas vai sviesta recepts. Mēs piedāvāsim jums kaut ko ļoti īpašu, interesantu un varbūt arī nebijuši, jo pirmo reizi diskusiju ciklā Inovācijas Sviests mums ir arī paredzēta meistarklase. Un šodien es vēlos pieteikt mūsu īpašo pasākumu garšas un sirdsapziņas savienojums. Restorāna koda šefpavāra Artūra Taškāna meistarklase ar Godīgās tirdzniecības šokolādi un cukuru. Un kas tad mums šodien moderēs pasākumu? Moderēs mums pasākumu Jana, Jesmin, Fairtrade pārstāv Baltijas valstīs. Lūdzu, Jana, ieņemiet savu vietu. Jūs palīdzēsiet saprast, kas šeit notiek un aicinām uz skatuves. Artūrs Taškāns, restorāna koda šefpavārs. Lūdzu.
Hi, welcome everyone. I hope you have enjoyed RIGAFOOD Fair so far. We are very happy to see you here with us for our conscience and taste mix session. We are giving you 3 wonderful recipes today with Chef Power Artūrs Taškāns. And hopefully we can also make you think a little bit more about the raw materials that you use when you create your dishes, about the raw materials that you buy from the shops. My name is Jana. I work for a global organization called Fairtrade, which aims to make the trade fairer for the farmers on the other hand of our supply chain, exactly for those people who grow the raw materials for us. And some of the raw materials we wouldn't even be able to have and enjoy if they wouldn't do their work. I'm very happy to have Artūrs here today with us. Artūrs has imagined magically 3 good recipes for us today. 2 of those will be easy to replicate back at home. One of it is more restaurant type recipe. And actually we'll be plating some more plates for you guys to taste as well, so stay here. It will be wonderful. Maybe I start with a question, Artūrs, for you first. You work for Cod Restaurant. What do you think, or how does your restaurant make a fair and responsible plate? Like, what has to be on it?
So basically the first thing what we work on is to work with the local suppliers, to work with the farmers, work by the season, try to get as we are a fish restaurant, we try to get the best fish which is in the season as well. Work with try to not to work with big farms which are growing fishes, what you call it, not regulated, and feed them with weird stuff, I would say. Yeah. So we try to get the best people, to know the best people, so we can get the best produce. Yeah, so that's our main goal, to work in this industry and as a head chef in a restaurant as well. So
yeah, how do you feel the situation in Latvia is at the moment? Are restaurant owners and chefs starting to think more about the responsibility in their supply chains?
I mean, it gets more industrial at this moment, as we see. The big companies getting bigger. They cut the quality and try to make the profit as much as they can, not caring about the environment, not caring about the produce. But at the same time, we have very good people which are trusting the right way to grow vegetables. We have very good farms here in Latvia which are growing wild meat and farm meat, pork, beef. We have good fish suppliers as well. And yeah, I mean, we are going two directions, worse than good. So who's gonna win? We'll
yeah,
see. Yeah.
like you mentioned, the whole idea is like the direct contact with your farmers.
Yeah.
Aha, technical help. Okay, so this is actually our menu that we will be going through today. For starters, we will have roasted apple puree with fennel flowers and smoked lamprey. Then
We skipped the lamprey because actually the season just started, but we're gonna use a herring. I'm gonna pan fry the herring. Yeah.
Good. So for main, we have grilled wild boar,
Yeah.
juniper and fair trade chocolate, and potato hazelnut magically chocolate in a main dish. And for dessert, we're going to have chocolate miso cake, roasted apple skin powder, and green tea ice cream.
Yeah.
So this is your green light. You can start with a starter.
Okay.
So we were discussing with Artūrs as well that the main idea of getting your produce to be responsible, it's about connecting with the farmers, directly communicating what are the issues in our supply chains. And Fair Trade is actually a global certification that works with 1.9 million farmers in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. These are the countries where we get our produce that cannot be grown here. Coffee cannot be grown here, bananas cannot be grown here, but these are also the countries where many of those problems in our supply chains are happening. For example, there is human rights violations, there are environmental violations. So we work with mostly small-time farmers. These are family-held farms. These are farms that have been given from generation to generation. So they know what they do. They have been growing their cocoa and their sugar already for a long time. And this is also where our cocoa comes from today. From these countries, we also get coffee, we get original green tea, we get, for example, bananas, exotical fruits, fruit juices. We also get rice from there, quinoa. We get all sorts of spices like vanilla and pepper. And we also get nuts and oils from there. So there's actually a lot of things that we use in our everyday life that comes from those countries that has a lot of issues. We have chosen to actually work in these countries because these countries are producing so much food for us, but unfortunately the people in the other end of our supply chain are the ones who earn the least. So it makes very hard for them to make a good living just because we in Europe don't really want to pay their fair prices. Artūrs, how far are you? Shall I continue or?
Continue. I'm just getting here ready.
Yeah. So these are actually just a couple of the issues that Fair Trade aims to fight. Of course, unfortunately, there is still child labor and forced labor happening. There are more than 160 million, and I mean 160 million children still being used as child labor. This is affecting their health, this is affecting their safety, and of course, this is cutting off their schooling. And more than 50,000 people are still being used as forced labor. Then there's the issue of human rights and workers' rights. Earning a living wage, earning a living income is actually a human right. But unfortunately, people in these countries don't make enough living to put even nutritious food on their family's table. Unfortunately, they are not able to afford medication. They are not able to afford education for their children, so there's a lot of issues. For the forced labor and workers' rights, there's also issues with a lot of pesticides being used, a lot of chemicals being used, and those people who work in the farms often don't have enough money to afford safety clothes for themselves, so that they breathe in all those pesticides. It creates a lot of health issues for them. It also creates health issues for the products that we eat if they are grown with too many pesticides, too many herbicides, of course. Then there's gender equality. Interestingly, 60 to 80% of world's food is actually grown by women, which means that we get a lot of produce from women, but women in Africa, Asia, and Latin America do not get the money that they should be getting for their jobs. The land is usually owned by the men, the money is gathered by the men, but the work on the field is done by the women. So they plow the fields, they water the field, they collect the crops, they take care of the field, but then the paycheck and the money goes to the man of the family. And then the women in these families actually have to ask their men if they would be kind enough to give the women some money. Unfortunately, women are also not allowed to earn money. Some are not allowed to actually own their land, and some are not even given any loans from the local banks to create your own business, to develop your own business. So they have to rely a lot on the men. And then there's, of course, climate, environmental, and deforestation issues. If the farmers cannot really earn enough money for the job that they do, they are not really able to think about how to farm more responsibly, how to start farming so that everything is safe for them, everything is safe for the food and the environment, and also all the produce that comes here to us is safer for us as well. How, Artūrs, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm just plating up now.
Just plating up. Also maybe a shocking number for you guys is that for the year 2050, it's been told that 60% of the land that is now suitable to cultivate and grow coffee might be lost due to climate change. So in the future we might not have coffee. In the future we might have coffee that is way too expensive for us to buy, or to make the coffee cheaper there will be much more chemicals used, much more herbicides, pesticides used. So there are simply a lot of issues that they are experiencing at the moment. And one of the, maybe that sounds funny to us, but one of the changes that has been happening in cocoa because of the climate change is now the cocoa farmers have had to move their fields higher up in the mountains. Just because of the temperature changes, and then there were squirrels living in the very high top of the mountains. The squirrels started moving downwards because of the climate change. These two met in the middle, and the squirrel has actually now become a pesticide for our crops of cocoa. So they go into the farms, they empty the cocoa pots before the farmers can actually sell their cocoa to me. So actually this might also make cocoa a luxury in the future. And also, of course, ecological farming is definitely much more expensive. So it looks like our starter is starting to get ready.
Yeah.
Yep, we're good. We're good.
Couple of minutes.
We have girls here who will be helping us to divide those. So anyone who's ready to have some, get your stomach ready. It's going to be good. So raise your hand, who had a coffee or maybe two today? A lot of us did. Who did put some sugar in the coffee? The same people basically. Now raise your hand who actually read the package of your coffee or the sugar. Do you know where your items come from? And I don't mean like, is it from Rimi or Maxima? Has anyone? Okay, no hands. So that kind of tells us the awareness level that we are at the Baltics at this moment. We do drink coffee, we enjoy chocolates, we enjoy ice cream and wines, but we don't really think about the people on the other end of our supply chains. For us, what we see actually and what our farmers are experiencing is that the reason or the root cause for all these things to be happening in there, it is due to, I would say, poverty. Because if the people would have more money to develop their farms, if the people would have more money to give education to their kids, it might make a bit better world. If you were, let's say, coffee farmer or a cocoa farmer, and unfortunately you couldn't afford school because schools would be either very far, schools would be very expensive, or then the school would be something that you simply cannot afford, is one of the side of the stories. But the other side of the story is that if you do not earn enough money for your family's table, then the only option you actually have is to use your whole family on your field, to use even your relatives on your field, because you simply don't have any money to hire someone to help you. Aha, you ready?
Yeah, I'm almost ready. Just finishing the final touches.
Yeah.
Putting some fennel flowers.
Making it more beautiful.
Yeah, it's just gonna give a nice anisidi taste to it. So yeah, it will be nice. I hope you like it.
Yeah, I'm putting the menu back here, so when you start tasting it, you know what it is that you're actually tasting.
Yeah.
If you can very shortly.
So basically, what we did here, I marinated the herring a little bit in brown sugar, a little bit soy, a little mirin. Mirin is a Japanese wine. I did that overnight, and then I made apple puree with Chardonnay vinegar, and a little bit butter. Cooked it very slowly. Add brown sugar as well, and that's it really. Yeah.
So is this the one that you say is more restaurant type meal, or
no?
is it
That's more like a home, like a snack at home.
Home snack, easy to make snack. If a chef says it's easy to make, we should maybe think twice.
Okay, it's ready, so you can guys.
Yeah, and we have the spoons and forks here as well.
Yeah. Fuck, I'm sweating.
Yeah, it's very hot
Getting
in here.
hot, huh?
I feel it too.
I'm getting busy.
Busy and
Busy
hot and dizzy.
here.
Did you have your water with you? No.
No, I'm okay. Yeah. Okay.
So you're now getting the main course: grilled wild boar, juniper, chocolate, and potato hazelnut puree ready for us.
Yes, I'm heating
Yes.
up the puree. So the puree, the guy who is supplying me potatoes, his company is called Potato Dealer. It's actually called like that. He's growing like really good quality potatoes. He's getting like really deep into it, getting all the different types of potatoes, how they taste, what's the flour, sugar, salt balance in the potato. So he's like really good at it. If you guys want to look up for the best potato supplier, it's a Potato Dealer LV. This is Aztec type. It's really nice in color, very yellowish. It's not from the butter. Obviously, is butter in there and cream as well, but it gets the yellowish flavor from the potato itself because of the quality. It's very creamy, and you will guys taste it. It's really nice. I love it. And then the boar, it's in the season. That's why I choose it. And all the wild meat goes very well with chocolate. And so what I did, I put juniper, fennel seeds, coriander seeds, and chocolate. Roasted the seeds up and blended it with chocolate powder. So we have a nice coating on the wild boar. And then I prepared the beef sauce, which I'm gonna just put it on top, and then roast the hazelnut on top. So it will be nice. So what I wanted to say, the wild meat, any wild meat for me goes very well with the dark chocolate.
Do you know like how dark would the chocolate have to be? 70% or even higher?
Yeah, 70 is the sweet spot, yeah.
Yeah, we want to thank Rimi Latvia as well, because we got their cocoa, which is fair trade certified, and we got also the sugar, which is fair trade certified from Rimi. So they are helping us to create these wonderful dishes. So I'll let Artūrs get on with it and change my slides back to the ones we had. So yes, like I was mentioning, there are still unfortunately many deniably not good things happening in our supply chains. We should be thinking about the people who do grow our foods, whether they are local people or whether they are people from abroad somewhere very far away. And the way we see it and the way that the farmers we work with say is that most of the issues come or derive from poverty, simply not in having enough money for your family's table, so also not being able to think about the responsibility within the supply chain. So yeah, this is one of the things we here, unfortunately or luckily, in Europe doesn't really maybe understand. And there are many things that Fairtrade is doing with the farmers to mitigate the problems. Our girls are getting the next cups ready as well. So see, this is also a big laborious job. So there are many ways we do projects, of course, with the farmers. We do development plans with the farmers, but there are 3 specific things that we have seen that help the most. And maybe one of the biggest things and biggest differences with Fairtrade and the other certification is that Fairtrade is actually the only global sustainability scheme or system that is 50% co-owned by the same farmers on the other end. Which means that it's not like we here in Latvia just simply write the rules to the farmers that, listen guys, you have to be environmentally friendly, you have to think about your kids and you have to be able to school your kids. But we develop these standards and these rules and regulations with them, in cooperation with them, so we understand what the actual problems are in Africa, Asia and Latin America, and what are the actual possibilities that how we can make these things better. And one of the big things that is helping the farmers, one of the tools for change that we have created with the farmers is so-called minimum price, which means that whoever, for example, if we would buy the cocoa from the cocoa farmers, there's a set price that we would have to pay those farmers. We simply cannot pay any lower. This is also a sort of, I would say, safety net for the farmers. So if the overall market prices fluctuate, they will always get the price that is set. They will not get the lower price. If the price in the market goes lower, they get the minimum, but if the market price gets higher, they also get the higher price. And one of the other tools that we have, which is also a bit different from other certification systems, is the premium, which is actually the extra amount of money that the farmers earn for their job so that they can either develop their farm, they can better live with their families, better their lives, but also they are using a lot of this extra money to sort of develop their communities, help their communities a lot further. And there are a lot of examples how our communities are working with the premium money. One of the interesting examples is maybe that our tea grower in Africa, he had to take his tea that he was very carefully growing with his family 40 kilometers away every day with his bicycle, simply because 40 kilometers away was the closest place where he could sell his tea, and simply because he does not really have money to afford any cars like we have here. So it was very laborious for him. It was a very long drive. It is very high temperatures. It is mostly very sandy roads, so it could be unsafe as well. And with this premium money, he was able to buy himself a truck, which meant that he was able to deliver his tea faster, which meant he was able to deliver more tea leaves and less tea leaves got wasted. And also this means that he gets better money because he can now deliver with better quality. For example, in Ethiopia, we have a flower farm. It's called Share Flower Farm. They raise a lot of roses and they also sell to Europe. For example, in Estonia, already some Prisma shops are selling these Fairtrade certified roses. And they have decided to support their community so that they built a hospital for the community and they also built a school for the community. Both of these organizations, the hospital and school, are still operational. And the school at the moment is offering schooling for 6,500 people near the area, 605,000 children actually. And what the Flower Farm Corporation is also doing is they are paying for the children's education of their workers' children. And they also pay for the breakfast for all the kindergarten children of their workers. So this is a possibility for them to give back to the community. We have a professional fire going. I hope there's not like sensitive.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so actually, there are many ways that these farms are actually giving back to the community and supporting their workers. And maybe one of good examples is also from Africa. Like we all know, Africa is a very big country. Like villages are very far away from each other, cities are very far away from each other. And one of very big issues in Africa is actually, unfortunately, losing women and children when women are trying to get to a hospital just to give birth. Again, we get back to the fact that they cannot afford any cars or buses or anything to go there. Cities are very far from the places that they live, from the villages that they live. So on the way to the hospital, or maybe even waiting for someone to get them to the hospital, a lot of things can happen to the mothers and can happen to the babies as well. So this Kenyan Naivasha Health Women's Center was actually built also by the local farmers, specially dedicated for the women in the area, so that they would have some place close by to go to give birth to their babies without something happening on the way. How are we going?
Yeah, we are 2 minutes away.
2 minutes.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
It is starting to smell and look very good. I'm not sure if you guys can smell it from here. I'm actually getting hungrier and hungrier. So yeah, like from these examples, we can see that the way we buy the things from shops here, what kind of original materials we ask from our traders, or whatever drinks we are enjoying, our coffees or wines or teas, it would be wise to maybe think about these items that we buy, maybe make a more conscious selection, and also think about those people in the other end of the supply chain. And maybe the good news is that last year in 2023, our 3 little Baltic countries generated 317,000 euros for the farmers to use within their communities. For us, it might not sound much, but if you put it into the point and the idea of Africa and how much actually a euro is worth there, so you can see it can make a very big difference. Okay. It seems to be cooking fine. Maybe I should put back the menu also so you guys can again see what you're tasting. Raise your hand if you got to taste the starter and if you liked it. Good. Raise your hand if you are trying to make it.
You can smell it. It's nice,
yeah.
Yeah.
He has something magical in there. So raise a hand if you are trying to also replicate this menu at home. The first starter. Okay, we have people there. Yeah, good. Yes, some more burning going on. If you can shortly explain what you did to the meat, or what like.
So I seared it from both sides. The meat is pre-cooked. I cooked it in a sous vide bag, in a sous vide bath for 20 minutes at 64 degrees, and I just finished the cooking in the pan. And the blowtorch just gives a nice touch of smokiness to the meat. As I don't have a grill here, it's better obviously do it with a grill, but as I limited in my surroundings, so I improvise. And the blowtorch is a very nice option to give the nice smoky flavor to it.
Yeah. It does really. It comes over here as well. So I see you put the powder on the meat.
Yeah, the meat is resting now. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna fill up the cups and we're done. The puree is nice and silky. So.
How do you think? Should we always use some cream or some milk or some butter in the puree, or is there any other way to make it taste more like restaurant-y?
I mean, potato and butter, it's a very good marriage. So I think we don't. It's better we don't disrupt that marriage. You know,
yeah, that original marriage that is working. That is working actually. Yeah, so. I have also heard rumors that, for example, at home, if you buy potatoes and they are very white potatoes, you don't get the magical yellow color, then you can put some saffron or something that makes them yellow in there. What's that magical ingredient to change the color? Obviously
butter, very good quality butter, and then as I said before, it's It's a lot of varieties of potatoes, and the wisest thing is to go to a farmer who knows what he's doing with his farm and potatoes or whatever he's growing, and talk to him, and he will sort you out with the best produce in the market.
Yeah, and he will also know like which is the better assortment for making porridge, which is better for boiling, which is better for soup. So they definitely know the differences. Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, guys, grilled wild boar, juniper, chocolate and potato hazelnut puree, getting ready for you soon. Let me check if we can start dividing it from this end. Just a few more minutes. Here we go, yeah. So exactly what is it that we can do here in Latvia or in the Baltics or in Europe overall? We can basically buy and consume less. The less food waste we have, the better, of course, for the people who grow those materials, raw materials for us. Buy responsibly. Of course, think of the people who grow your food. May they be local or may they be from Africa, Asia or Latin America. Think, of course, of the environmental effect that all these things can be doing. Prefer local, and if there is something that you cannot find local, for example, coffee, I don't think there are anyone who can actually grow coffee in Latvia. So try and prefer certified, try and prefer organic.
Yeah, one more thing I wanted to notice. There is a guy who is growing, he's not growing, he's collecting birch tree sap, and then he's making a syrup from it. And he made a fermented honey with the ants inside, and I'm gonna put that just a touch in the sauce. It's just gonna give a nice balance. It's gonna balance the sauce out. It's gonna give a nice rich flavor to it and a little sweetness. So yeah, you can go to Zigmar's and talk to him. He's a very good guy.
So he's actually here as well today.
Yeah.
Good.
All right.
Yeah, and also what we see, what would help to make a change and what would help to make catering a restaurant or cooking at home more environmentally friendly and also more socially responsible is having the full supply chain join in. It would need the consumers who buy these foods. It would need those who produce these foods to actually produce fairly. It would need restaurants, HoReCa sector, using those ingredients. It would also need, of course, the shops to join in so that they can offer us these responsible products. And definitely it would need the farmers on the other end of our supply chains also to understand what they need to deliver for us as well. So it's a matter of cooperation in all the possible ways. There are surprisingly, maybe I'll start with a question. How many fair trade certified products do you think are available in Latvia at the moment? Would you say, raise your hand if you say it's 100? Okay, a couple of people. Would you say it's more than 500? Okay, a couple of hands again. Would you say it's more than 700 maybe? Nobody thinks it's more than, okay, one of the kids thinks it's 700. So actually there are 755 different fair trade certified products available in Latvian shops. They may be online shops, they may be bigger shop chains. So simply go and try and find those products. Globally, there are more than 37,000 products available. So this is maybe actually a call up for our traders as well to try and understand and ask for more responsible products to be brought into Europe, to be brought into Latvia. Okay, I think we are...
Yeah, we're getting there. Just one more. I'm just gonna grate fresh hazelnut on top, and then we're there.
It's the magical touch of the chef.
Phew, I'm sweating already. Again.
It's not getting any cooler when you have your pan here.
Yeah. Just missed one piece somewhere.
So I didn't notice, but did we have the quiz QR here as well? The questions QR, if there are any people who want to ask us questions?
Okay.
Can we put the QR code here if people want to ask us any questions? It will be here? Okay, good. So guys, if you want to ask us any questions, Artūrs and me, we will be in the other hall in Zala Brīvība and Fair Trade Mutual booth for, let's say, 20 minutes, half an hour after this session. Maybe you want to ask something about the menu, maybe you want to ask something about the fair trade as well. Aha, we're ready.
Don't worry, guys. You can eat wild boar medium. It's actually not wild. It's farm raised.
Farm wild.
Yeah, farm wild. Yeah.
Farm wild. Do you get a lot of questions in the restaurant? Like, is the meat okay to be eaten raw or medium?
Not really. Not anymore. It used to be a big problem.
I think there were a lot of questions about the fish specifically. If it's safe.
Yeah. But nowadays. It's better. People are
already understanding that.
Yeah, they understand more about the produce and yeah. Okay.
And I think you can. Will you with the dessert? Will you start plating directly? I think that's okay as well. Or do you need to prep?
Yeah. How much time do you have?
Well, our time is almost out. We have like 6 minutes.
6 minutes, yeah.
Or like to create some magic dessert for you.
Yeah.
But let me go back and try and put on the menu again, guys in the corner. Okay, here we go. So for dessert, just a reminder, we will have chocolate miso cake, roasted apple skin powder, and green tea ice cream. The roasted apple skin that you have there, is like the plan of your restaurant to create less waste and to use maximum out of the food that you are using?
Yeah, I mean this topic with food waste has been very popular in a very long time. It just somehow happened that people started to talk about it just right now, because for chefs and even for my family where I grew up, it was very important to save as much as we can and use as much as we can, not throwing out things, not throwing out the food, finishing the plates. Not like finishing plates so you can't eat, but trying to not throw out. So it was very important for our family, and then for chefs as well. When obviously the margin, the food cost, everything is connected with food waste. So then lesser you waste, then more you earn. So it's been always a very hot topic, because I think it started to change actually in hotels. As soon as the hotels, the big companies came in, as we spoke before, the things started to change. You have seen like next to the hotels, you've seen like 4 or 5 big bins full of food, which haven't been touched. So it's a bit sad. So
and on one point of view, it's a question of respect towards the food, respecting your food. But on the other hand, you are actually throwing away your own money.
Yes.
So are you guys enjoying? Is everything is the chef making the food perfect for you guys? Okay. Yeah, we'll start with the dessert as well. I think we can put again the QR codes on the screen if it's possible, if you guys want to ask our questions. And since we are running out of time, so maybe we can already start with the questions that are more to me, and then questions later that are more for Artūrs. Is our moderator somewhere here, and can maybe she see if we have any questions? I mean, it's okay, guys. If you can actually, I can come to you with a microphone if you have a question directly. Just raise your hand. I'm just checking, like, If
we there. Yeah.
No, it's okay.
If there's any question you can guys ask, I just will hang around here. I mean, I'm finishing already, so it's all good.
Yeah, anyway, until our moderator can come here and maybe give us the questions that you guys have, I will thank everyone to coming to join us. I thank also Artūrs for being here and for creating these wonderful dishes for us. I thank you also, Ariana and Salabrivipa, for organizing this session for us, and also Rimi for letting us use their fair trade cocoa and their fair trade sugar. And just a reminder, we will be in the other hall, so if you have any questions directly, you don't want to ask them here, just come and see us.
Tā, pirms man varās jautājumu vaļā, jo te kaut kas ar internetu nav īsti kārtībā, laikam kaut kas pa karstu bija. Tā, es uzdošu jautājumus tiem, kuri nobaudīja šos ēdienus. Varbūt tās varat pakomentēt, kā jums garšoja. Paldies. Kā jums garšoja?
Ekscelenti.
Kā jums garšoja?
Bija labi, jā, garšīgi.
Brīnišķīgi.
Vai jūs paprovējāt?
Ekscelenti.
Ekscelenti. Nepaprovējāt. Labi, pajautāšu šeit. Kurš pagaršo ēdienus?
Paldies. Pārsteidzot.
Nē. Bija ļoti garšīgi.
Jā, ļoti garšīgi.
Nu, redziet, vērtējums bija ļoti garšīgi, ekscelenti. Un tagad mums ir ienākuši arī 3 jautājumi. Un es... Tā. Paldies. Jautājums tas nav, tā ir pateicība. Paldies, pārsteidzoši garšīgi. Is there any list of fair trade companies?
Well, there are more than 4,000, how shall I say it? The whole full supply chain for us has to be certified, which means the farmer has to be certified, the producer has to be certified, then whoever packages these goods has to be certified. So everyone in the chain has to be certified. These chains are very long. We don't have like a direct list because these lists are changing. Some businesses are finishing, some are starting, but you can always contact us, contact Fairtrade Baltics and Fairtrade Latvia directly if you need anything, and then we can search out a specific company for you.
Okay, thanks. And there's one more question. How can I for sure know if my coffee beans are fair trade? Is there any special marking on the package?
Yes, that is actually a very good question. If I have the marking somewhere on here as well. I think I had one in the beginning. Here we go. So the fair trade mark, it can be black and white, it can be colorful, it can be with an arrow. But this is actually a certification mark that is giving to a very specific product. So it's never giving to a producer so that everything he produces is fair trade, but it's giving to a very specific product, making sure that this specific product is fair trade. And nowadays you can find them in most of the shops, in Maximas, Rimis, and everywhere basically. And the more we ask for them, the more they will be sold, because basically the situation is that the shops sell what we are buying.
Okay, thank you very much. So, there are some more surprises. Vēl kādi pārsteigumi mums top, ja?
Jā, nē, tūlīt jau viss jau finišē.
Nē, nevajag finišēt. Jūs
Uzliek
palieciet
saldējumu.
te. Līdz cikiem zāle vaļā ir? Kāds zina?
Uzliek saldējumu ballīt, bet bišķi pakusis, bet...
Galvenais rīt no rīta atbrīvot telpas, jo es saprotu, varbūt kaut kas cits paredzēts. Būs vēl kādi jautājumi, es pie jums vērsīšos noteikti. Varbūt jums ir kādi jautājumi no zāles? Kādam ir kāds jautājums, varbūt uzdevāt jau, ja? Šobrīd visi tie skatītāji, kuri vēro tiešsaistē, aicinu, lūdzu, nākamreiz uz Inovācijas Sviests nāciet klātienē.
Ok, to var ņemt, to paplāt.
Tā, vēl kāds jautājums varbūt ir kāds? Jā, lūdzu.
Jā, man ir jautājums no zāles. Labi. Jā, man ir jautājums no zāles. Vai tagad skatoties šo gadu laikā pieaug aizvien vairāk uzņēmumu, ka ir šie fair trade, teiksim, tīklā, vai tas skaits paliek nemainīgs? Looking through the years, is this number of the companies who are joining this fair trade, this number is rising or it is staying on the same level? What is the dynamics?
The number is actually luckily growing, but of course, depending on the situation with the COVID or the Ukrainian war, the numbers did go down a little, but now they're going back up again, so more companies are getting interested. There's also EU regulations coming in, which say that the companies have to be more responsible towards the social aspects and the environmental aspects. And I can say that we've been doing fair trade directly in the Baltics for the last 2 years. It's not a long time. For example, Finland has been doing it for 25 years, so it's basically a matter of awareness raising still for us. But in the Baltics, we already have 7 certified companies, local companies that are using fair trade raw original materials. Unfortunately, none in Latvia. They are in Lithuania and in Estonia, so we still have some work to do.
Why not in Latvia? How do you think?
I think it's actually a matter of the knowledge, of people understanding what it means, of people actually, recognizing that there are these types of systems in place. So it's a matter of maybe educational awareness raising.
I think after this discussion, you will be very well known in Latvia. So wait for some calls.
I hope so I can basically bring some good messages to our farmers as well. Good.
Okay,
Done.
that's it. Just want to tell about the dessert. So it's actually a dessert from our menu at COD. What we do, we make a caramel from the sugar, and then we add butter. We love butter. A little cream, and then miso paste. It gives like a nice salty hint to it, and then on top it's matcha ice cream. So, enjoy, guys.
Is the matcha ice cream also something you make on the spot as well?
No, I mixed a little bit the fresh one inside. Yeah.
Okay, good, guys. I hope you enjoy. I hope you learned some new information today. I hope you will also visit Artūrs restaurant maybe in the future. And if you have any questions, come to us. Thanks, guys, and enjoy the rest of the RIGAFOOD fair.
Liels paldies! Tiekamies tad nedaudz vēlāk ar pārējiem. Būs vēl kāds ļoti, ļoti gards pārsteigums, tāpēc varbūt nedodaties uzreiz prom.